Hi guys, Peter Finch here, and we're down at the beautiful Centurion Club down in London, and we're testing out the new Ping Gmax irons. Now this is the kind of the newest incarnation, if you want, of the G range, but it's just started to drift away from the numbers, and we are now into the max stage, and this is possibly, well, so it says anyway, the most forgiving Ping club ever. And what I'm going to do now is a bit of a test. I'm just using the 7 iron in the Gmax range, just doing a little bit of a test of forgiveness, kind of heel, toe strikes, and out the centre, and seeing the difference and seeing if that forgiveness is really there. Now down here with Rick Shields, who's doing another comparison using the GC2 launch monitor, so we get both a visual, a feel, a kinesthetic, but also the numbers-based review as well, so covering both angles for you guys. So like I said, I've got the 7 iron here in the yellow dot, which is the standard colour code for the Gmax. I've got the X100 shaft here, so what I'm using in my current irons. Now the Gmax differs from the G30 range in respects that the actual club is a lot longer. So it's got a much longer sole, and it's also got wider and more perimeter weighting. So with the G range, it's always been a very forgiving club, but this has just pushed it kind of that extra level really. And as you look down visually, it does look a lot bigger than the G range. It's probably, you know what, probably when you probably compare the two, which hopefully I'll be able to do kind of when I get back, the actual difference, the actual size in between the two is probably actually not that big, but it just visually looks like a very large club head. So it's going to be very kind of forgiving in respects visually. When you look down at it, you're going to feel confident that it's going to go an actual decent distance. So I'll just clip a couple away. Like I said, down here at the range at the Centurion, you've got a couple of kind of markers out there. Now, I mean, for a start, that's flying absolutely awesome. So that's a 7 iron, and that's gone up to 170 yards there. But acoustically, did you guys actually hear that? That is the most pingy I've ever heard a ping club as far as the actual irons go. Now they've actually got an interesting kind of structure within the club head here. I like that very much, by the way. They've got an interesting structure within the club head here. The actual back of the design of the club, it's almost kind of the whole kind of visual technology thing. They've got basically a hole, and it's almost like a socket that you can imagine that kind of ping sound coming out of. They've also got an insert into the sole right at the back to push the perimeter weighting as much to the back as it can. So it's obviously going to help the ball into the air as much as it can. Let's clip another one away. Right, okay, so, and that's flown further, that's up at about 175. So it's flying off the face there, really, really, really well. Oddly enough, I struck down on that, but I'm not actually seeming to take too much of a divot. Let me just have a bit of a whack at that one, so try and stride down a little bit more. It's interesting because the actual spec sheet in the write-up on this, it does talk about these progressive bounce angles and the different grinds that they've actually got, because I'm actively trying to really strike down there, but it does seem to be just guided up as I actually come through the ball, and I'm really just kind of almost bruising the grass as I come through, but again, that flew very, very well. What I'll do is I'll just switch over, and I'll switch over to some toe strikes. So I'll try and really impact these right out of the toe of the club. Now I could actually feel the club face twist in my hands there, and I'd probably say that was very much off the toe. I'd say probably maybe half the ball was actually onto the actual outside of the club where the actual main club face ends. That's probably flown only about 10 yards shorter, which is pretty impressive considering. Again, not much of a divot there. Let's try another one. It just... And again, that's flown up to about almost 170 again. Again, that was very much right off the toe. It's very, very interesting because they picked up, so they flew up into the air very quickly. Oddly enough, when you start striking from the toe and the heel, you do get that kind of gear effect of kind of pulling it to the right, hooking it more to the right when it's off the toe. Now those ones flew very, very, very straight, almost no difference at all. Let's do it now onto the heel. Why not, right? Now that did put a little bit more fade on as it came out of the heel, but again, actual strike-wise, it's float up to 165. Very, very interesting stuff. I mean, one of the best things about pings, I mean, I've been kind of a ping iron player for a while now, for the more kind of the compacted blade version of the clubs. Now these ones visually to me look very, very chunky. But that's not to say for a player who's normally used to playing kind of cavity back irons, this won't suit them very, very well. But that one again was very much off the heel, but it picked up exceptionally quickly. Let me try and get one right out the bottom. Let me try and hit a bit of a thin. Now a bit more of a fade as you'd imagine when you actually hit a thin, but distance-wise it's very comparable to the toe strike there, so up at about 160. It's very interesting because the feel of all of those, I could just about tell where I was striking it on the face there, to the toe, to the heel, and then very much off the thin, but actually feel-wise across the face, there wasn't a massive amount of difference there. So the 7-iron loft here is at 30.5 degrees, which doesn't represent a massively strong club face in comparison to some of the other clubs on the market at the moment. Distance-wise, that is flying very well. Again, that's up to the 170 mark with a very good strike. And again, I'm very happy. It's a very clean strike. I mean, picked up off the surface very, very well. Awesome. Right, I am going to now try the eye range. If you want the GC2 data and the comparison data, hop over to Rick's channel. I'll pop a link in the description below to go check that out. Like I said, we're down here at the Centurion Club testing out these new products. So guys, hopefully you enjoyed that, found that informative. The acoustics and the forgiveness of this iron, acoustically very, very interesting. The performance didn't look really in question. We are going to take these clubs out onto the course as well, so that should be a very interesting kind of course log that we do as well. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Check me out Facebook, Instagram and Twitter as well in the description below, and we will see you down here next time.
If it went that far,